think that there is something unknown that we don't know what it is.
Sanctuary of Her. This was very, very fascinating because these two women are artists, of course, in their own right, and they create beautiful work. I think it's so interesting to have the multimedia artwork. So you have the painting, which is beautiful, but then you have like video that's overlaid over top, and so then it becomes this moving picture, but it's not a video. It's moving art. It's living art. It's stunning, and I think it's so special that these two sisters are able to do that together, and that they have such similar um, vision and goals, and so they really are able to work so cohesively together. But what I liked about this documentary is that it didn't take a traditional form of we're sitting down, we're interviewing them, we're talking about them, we're showing their art. The film piece itself was art. It showed everything in a really creative, really artistic way that highlighted the process of them creating their art in a beautiful artistic way, and it was so beautiful to watch. I really loved that piece where she's holding the what looks like an umbilical cord on the table. Such a powerful piece. Like, I want to own it. Their art is stunning. Their story is beautiful, and yeah, I just love the whole concept of this. It was so creative and it was wonderful to watch. Great job.
Hi, these are my comments on Sanctuary of Her. I really enjoyed this documentary. As somebody who is the middle of two sisters, it was really fun to see these twins creating art together. I really loved the way the documentarian captured them painting together just in those moments of just silence and music, of just letting the art live and watching them move together in the rhythm that they have. That was a very smart choice because we really do get to sit and understand their process in a really visceral way. The sisters kept repeating the idea of, or for them, the actual world that they've created for themselves that exists in the subconscious and that only they can access. And I thought the filmmaker did a great job of capturing that in the 27 minutes. Like, the documentary is set up sort of in a small encapsulated world for where for a brief moment you kind of get to exist or have like sort of a view into the way that these sisters create and the world that they've created for themselves and how they're able to translate that world into our realm, into the physical world. And I thought that all of those things came through really clearly, from the score choice to a lot of the views, looking through keyholes, looking from like behind the door. All of those things were very cool and translated really well. I also loved the moving pictures. At first, I thought it was a cool documentary effect, but then learning later on in the documentary that it was actually a part of their exhibit was even more exciting. So it was really excellent foreshadowing, and I thought it was really well placed throughout. Yeah, overall, just a really enjoyable watch, very serene. You really get into the mind of these sisters as best you can, and have a lot of respect for their process. And I felt like this documentary put that respect on display. The documentarians also clearly had a lot of respect for how and a lot of and we're really trying to dive deeply into the way that these women create. So really enjoyed it.
Sanctuary of Her. I thought this really captured the mystery, the mystical, and that elusive space that they hold through the cinematography, some really inventive framing, through the music that I think was a great sound score to capture that almost flow state that they go into. And I think that the filming really naturally also tapped into that sense of peace, that focus, that flow state that their art and their life is created in. So I think they were fascinating subjects that I really appreciated that they spoke so openly and intimately about their experience from childhood, where it felt like I, as the viewer, was invited in and then also invited into their artistic process as the full circle of the piece. So really well done through and through, and a great artistic vision to capture their spirit.
So this is my review on The Sanctity of Her. I think this documentary was incredibly well done. I think that both of the subjects, the sisters, were incredible subjects. I think they were cast very well. I think they're incredibly talented, and it was beautiful to sort of see their imagery displayed and how they sort of play around with art. And I think that was really well done and used within the documentary of art within art. I enjoyed seeing them painting. I enjoyed the sort of reflexive styles between the two. Like one paints, say, an eyebrow, the other paints an eye, and how they complement each other. There were a couple of lines that I enjoy. One artist with 4 heads and 2 heads. I really enjoyed that line between the two of them. I think that really, again, enhanced the narrative and just made it incredibly poignant. And yeah, I think it was very well done. I loved seeing the girls together and watching their art and watching them work together. I think it's fascinating how they portrayed how they're 2 separate people out in the real world, but when they paint, they become one, which is interesting because usually it seems like the opposite, but I think they did that well, or they showed that well in the show.
For Sanctuary of Her, I thought this was absolutely beautifully done. I loved all, the history that they gave on, the closeness and the incredible dynamic between these 2 sisters. Their relationship and connection is just so great and so interesting to watch. And I loved, seeing the ways that they're both connected together and the ways that they're also both connected through, their paintings and their artwork. I think that it's so kind of fascinating too that kind of through their paintings they, even though there's 2 of them, they kind of both painted, that one person, that it's kind of the combination of the 2 of them, and it's not one, it's not the other, it's, kind of like where they meet and it creates one person. And seeing that, through their art and through their relationship dynamic, I thought was so interesting. The cinematography in this was absolutely beautiful too. It was so, well shot, so artistic, and, just incredible the way that it just made it so kind of captivating and mesmerizing to watch, the way that they captured it and the narrative unfolded. And yeah, really great job.
They blended their artistic world and documented their process for people to see. The cinematography is quite stellar, dreamy, like even the twin sisters share a collaborative partnership in bringing their physical and virtual art into completion. The relationship makes you consider iconic partnerships throughout art history. As someone who really recently visited Basquiat's grave, that's exactly where my mind went between his relationship with Warhol. They have separate lives and come together to express their emotions through the use of color, perspective, framing, and human experience. The 2 are in constant communication with one another, so that really in the end that the work consists of both of their energies. I like the use of playing the other in the sense you get to walk in their shoes. No wonder they share such a sacred bond. I mean, you really have to have a certain relationship with that person if you're going to be able to capture these raw human emotions. I think about how I am as an artist and the type of vulnerability I have to, the state of mind that I have to be in to really create something that's beautiful. And that happens a lot of the time in solitude. I don't share that part of myself with anyone. However, they have each other, and that's beautiful. We see a variety of pieces come to life as they share their process. I actually wasn't expecting it to be a projection, and it in a sense made the art all the more authentic. You can't take a picture of their artwork. I mean, no, you can take a picture of the artwork. You can shoot a video and you can bring it together and post, but they go about it in a more hands-on, practical form of art. They go handheld with a projector and then they record their art onto the artwork from there. And it's a beautiful piece and beautiful work of art in the piece. I can't wait to see where their career takes them.
I've always heard that twins have a special connection, especially identical twins. And to see it in this documentary form actually showed how close they really are. Because it would be odd for one sibling to have a talent, whereas others don't have it, and yet they both have the same talent to paint. They use the metaphor that they're connected by an umbilical cord, which I loved, and the bright red really popped on camera to show their connection. You also feel the girls' emotional toil, where they're knowing eventually they're going to have to separate and move on with their lives as they continue to grow up, but they don't want to. They've always had that tight connection. It's one of those things that they just have to do it. And this documentary, while short, showed the exact intense connection of the twin relationship that these two girls have.